Welcome to The Explainer. What if I told you that tons of successful companies are basically sitting on a hidden treasure chest of cash? Well, today, we're going to pull back the curtain and show you how businesses are finding millions of dollars in what they call hidden money, money they never even knew they had.
You know, you can look at any successful business, doesn't matter if it's big or small, and you'll find one universal truth. There's this constant, relentless pressure to manage high operating costs. It is a battle that every single leader fights every single day.
And that right there is the big question we're digging into today. What if the real answer isn't about making painful cuts or tightening the belt? What if it's about finding savings that are just, well, waiting to be claimed?
Okay, so let's start with the problem itself, this constant weight of rising costs. It's a challenge that unites pretty much every business leader, from the owner of a small workshop to the CFO of a massive corporation.
This pressure, it's just always there. It dictates budgets, it shapes growth plans, and honestly, it can be the single biggest source of stress for executives. And the go-to solution is almost always to cut something, right? But that can really stifle growth.
Now, here's where it gets really interesting. A powerful solution to this problem has been hiding in plain sight for decades. And no, this is not some new gimmick. It's a well-established system that most companies just don't know how to navigate.
See, this whole idea of government and utility programs helping out businesses isn't some modern trend. It's actually a fundamental part of economic policy, specifically designed to encourage growth, investment, and innovation.
And this timeline really shows you just how deep those roots go. I mean, we're talking about programs that kicked off way back in the 1950s. They've spent the last 70-plus years evolving from these simple federal ideas into this complex web of state and local incentives that cover literally everything from R&D to workforce development.
So when we say found money, this is what we're talking about. It's really just a catch-all term for this huge landscape of tax credits and incentive programs. The problem isn't that they don't exist, it's that they are so underused. And why is that? Well, it's usually a mix of things. People just don't know about them, the application process can look really complex, and there's this common myth that they're only for giant corporations. But we're talking about real money, like a state offering a tax credit for new energy-efficient machines, or a local program that helps pay to train new employees. The money is there, you just have to know where and how to look for it.
So what's the actual real-world impact of finding this money? Let me tell you, the effect it can have on a company's bottom line is way more powerful than you might think.
Okay, just let this one sink in for a second. This quote from the Gartner Group really frames the incredible power of saving money on costs. Think about it. Finding a 5% saving is often so much easier than trying to boost your sales by a massive 30%.
And let's put some numbers to that. Say a company has a $10 million profit. A tiny 5% cut in their operating costs makes that profit skyrocket by 45% to $14.5 million. A nearly 50% jump in profit without landing a single new customer. That, right there, is the definition of working smarter, not harder.
And hey, this isn't just theory. Take a company called Mercury Plastics. They managed to find an incredible $7.5 million in savings across a few different projects. The president even joked that he had to go buy more buildings just to keep up. Or look at Camcraft. They uncovered $2 million in incentives, which ended up covering almost the entire cost of their project. Can you imagine funding a huge expansion almost entirely with money you didn't even know you had access to? And the list just keeps going. Kloss Distributing, they captured nearly $2 million in just 2 years. These are not flukes. These are real companies finding absolutely game-changing money.
But what about the other side of the coin? What happens when businesses just don't go after these opportunities? Well, the cost of doing nothing can be surprisingly high.
The choice here is it's incredibly stark. On the one hand, doing nothing leads to costs going up and just falling behind the pack. But on the other hand, taking action leads directly to savings, which then funds growth and boosts your profits. It really is a clear fork in the road.
But here's the most urgent part. This isn't just about your own bottom line. A lot of these incentives are time-sensitive, or there's a limited pot of money. So while one company is hesitating, their competition could be grabbing these advantages, lowering their own costs, and getting a major leg up in the market.
So what is the ultimate takeaway from all this? How should we be thinking about these programs in the grand scheme of running a successful business?
It's actually pretty simple. This is so much more than just a clever accounting trick. It's a powerful strategic tool. By systematically uncovering this found money, a company can literally turn its cost centers into profit drivers and fund new growth, all while gaining a huge advantage over competitors who are still in the dark.
So,
we'll leave you with this thought. The hunt for found money is more than a strategy. It's really a mindset. It's about constantly asking yourself, what are we missing? Because more often than not, the most valuable opportunities are the ones that have been hiding in plain sight the whole time.